Hello, everyone. And welcome to the webinar today. I do apologize about the delay in start. My computer decided to have a mind of its own, and so I had to do a quick switch out here. But I just want to let you know we are ready to go. Today's webinar is reporting and management reporting, sales reporting, just all about reporting in Magazine Manager. I'm going to be using our consultant site in Magazine Manager in order to take a look at some of the options that we have in reporting. The first thing I want to point out and remind everyone of, I always like to start the webinars by doing this. This is Mark, by the way. Good morning, good afternoon. Is that we will always want to point out the help menu. Just remember, if you don't know or forgot, the Learning Center videos. There are quite a few videos here under sales as far as MyList reporting, report suites, and widgets. For the administrators on the phone, there are a lot of different videos about management and site administration. Also some new feature videos highlighting Contactology Magazine Manager, the Google Calendar integration, inventory setup, MyLists, and so forth. Just to give everyone an update on the Google Calendar integration, we are working with current beta testers now out in our live user community with a limited number of beta testers helping us test out getting this feature ready for release to the general population. So that is on its way soon. I don't know, we don't have an exact time frame, but I know you'll ask when. As soon as we can get it tested, make sure that it's solid. I'd rather have us wait a little bit for the rollout than have something that is not going to be something that is useful for you or really buggy. So we're getting it ready. Past webinars, remember here in Help under past webinars, they are listed in descending order. November all the way back to March of last year, we've started the webinars. You can always watch a video or read the Q&As that are asked from the attendees during the webinar. Remember, over on the right-hand side of your screen in the webinar control panel, there's an area for you to chat and ask questions for our live moderators who are here on the webinar helping us out today. That's help, and that's it. We'll go ahead and get started with the webinar. And again, today, this is going to be kind of a casual stroll through the reporting, all the reports that we have for you at a high level management. Again, I'm going to focus primarily on managers, needing to see some very high level reporting. So if we go to the sales, and we'll just start at the top here with the an activity report. The activity report allows you to see all of your sales reps in the system, and you can view the activity report for any given date range. So perhaps we want to look at all of our activities from October of last year up until today's date for all of everyone in our sales department or all users of Magazine Manager. Press View. This lists all the sales reps and how many calls and notes and meetings they've scheduled, cash sales during this date range, any barter deals that were also entered. If you take a look at the meetings here, and we see that Karen has 2 meetings scheduled, you can actually click this, and this is true with a lot of our reporting, that if it's hyperlinked or highlighted this way with a hyperlink, Dawn has 8, you can actually click that hyperlink and drill through the report, and look at what 8 items comprise that total. So we'll see Dawn has her meetings with these different companies on these dates, and if you want to look at notes and activities with these meetings, you can certainly continue to drill through that. So this is the activity report. This is very useful for the sales managers to keep an eye out for activity that their department is performing. Another report is an annual revenue stats report. This report is super if you want to see who are my top spenders, who are my top advertisers for a given year. So let's take a look at 2014, and you can look at all sales reps, or you'll be able to actually filter this down to a particular sales rep. But for my whole company, all sales reps for all products and zones, and all my clients here, I'd like to see who my top spenders are. So again, this is descending, so you have the highest number down to the lowest number. So these 10 highlighted or so, these are my top 10 spenders. Here's the numbers that the number of pages that are sold. Here's the percentage of overall revenue this client was responsible for. All right. If you want to look at this by product, okay, so let's take a look at Organic Delights for 2013. Who are my top spenders for my product, my title, Organic Delights? And here is that. So again, you've got a lot of ability to drill in and get more specific information. You can choose it by year. In 2012, who are my spenders the year before that? And types, anybody, who were my ad agencies? You can look at the category, city, county. You can look at all kind of types here for this revenue stat report. So this is a really nice report to take a look at that information from the top level down. Your annual contract sales report. Again, you can look at this by all publications or just by particular publication, and you can look at the contract sales by month for your sales reps here in the annual contract sales report here. Some of these other reports, just take a look at. It's nice to look at comparisons. How, show me a sales report for my product, or maybe by customer, by year. So this report suite, and then sales by customer will enable you to look at comparison with the previous year, or do not compare. So for our company, I believe there was a company, DAX Enterprises, and for all my products that they perhaps purchased in, and I want to look at everything with issues. So I want to look at 13 and all issues in 2013. Let's group these by issue for this product. Looking at 2013, compare it to 12, because we're at the beginning of 14. So we're most interested in how things happened last year compared maybe to the year before. Okay, let's take a look at all issues. Sorry about that. All right, let's do a new search here. Let's take a look at product. There we go. I'm sorry. So let's see for our product. Actually, I do want to do for the company DAX, but instead of grouping by issue, I want to group by month. The reason we couldn't actually group this by issues because I had multiple products, and those products do not share the same issue, so we couldn't run the report that way. But I do want to look at by customer, DAX Enterprises for 2013, all their products. I'm going to group their spending by month and see how much they spent. Let's choose the comparison option, comparing with previous year. Press search. And here's what DAX has spent, as well as other clients. January 2012 versus 2013. You have a percentage increase or decrease in these different months here. And the reason why it shows more than DAX is because when I refreshed this search, I chose somebody else. It lost the focus of DAX. But anyway, you can go and look at my client and see this information out. For ABC Company, they went down 84% from in January from 12 to 13. And you might see, well, gosh, what did they spend their $10,000 on here in January 12? You can click this $10,000 and pull, and this will drill into the contract. So they had one contract in the January issue that actually accounted for that $10,000. And then so for the next month here, they had another January issue, but perhaps they chose a smaller ad size or had something else to decrease that. So again, sales by customer, all products, all issues. So we're really just, what are their contract sales by month comparing year to year. You also have some other reports in the report suite, sales by rep. You want to see how your sales reps are doing for all products. And we can say with and without issues. So this will include both print and digital. And I want to look at 2013, comparing it back to 2012. So for all products, all sales reps, let's not include barter. Let's look at cash only, and let's compare by month, the sales by sales rep. So we'll press search. And so for all of our sales rep, let's see how, looks like old Jacob's done pretty well. In January in 2012, he sold 13,000, but January 13, he was up 290%. Okay? So you've got these sales by month, by sales rep, and then the totals for the year. The revenue went up 361, 349. So revenue's gone up consistently month by month from 2012 to 2013. Again, if you want to see, 54,000 in revenue for Jacob, where did all this money come from? Well, here are all the different contracts that comprise that amount. He had all these in this product, Photography Tips. He had 23,000 in the digital, and then in travel photography, he had 12,000. So this is how, among these products, or how where this revenue was split up for him. And you can always export this data if you want to a CSV file and do further analysis and graphing and charting in Excel. So the sales by rep, one of the most powerful things about these reports in the report suite, sales by rep, sales by product, sales by customer, is the year-to-year comparison. Folks find this very, very helpful. Now, looking at just the general sales run sheet, I do want to remind everyone about a few things about the run sheet and about these reports in the report suite. Let's take a look at our December 2012 issue for Organic Delights, because there's a few other things I want to point out and remind you guys of. We're going to show all on one page, so we'll press search here. Okay, so here is the sales run sheet for December. See this page number? See these thumbnails of these pages? This is because this client is using Digital Studio to flat plan and map out their insertions, and as soon as that insertion is placed on that page number is automatically written here. So in case you guys aren't necessarily familiar with that, I do want to take just a brief moment and show you what simple and easy activity is going to drive this. So let's go up here to production. Quick DS login here. All right, Organic Delights, December 12th. That was the run sheet we were looking at. We're going to double-click and look at this. Let's go back over here. Now, what company? Actualize Your Health. They were on page 22. So if we go to the digital sheet here, page 22, we're going to see Actualize Your Health. Here they are. Well, you know what? We're going to move them to page 23 because they've been moved. Now, I, in production, just picked up page 22, moved it to page 23. I go back over here. I do a new search. I refresh my search, and now Actualize Your Health is on page 23. Just by mapping and flat planning out your flat plan in Digital Studio, these run sheets are going to automatically populate these page numbers, which are also going to automatically be available for your invoices, that you can include these page numbers on the invoice without someone having to enter a page number in a custom field manually. As long as you use this enterprise level system at its highest level, every department uses it to its fullest capacity, then it's going to integrate and tie everything together and have it minimize your steps of doing duplicate data entry, putting in page 23 on the contract insertion order in a custom field, just so page 23 will show up on the invoice. Using Digital Studio, flat planning, dragging, dropping, moving all these different insertion orders around will allow you to have that information readily accessible. Now, you might be saying, Mark, I'm in my sales run sheet and I don't see my page numbers. Well, this page number column is not by default shown on the sales run sheet. So what you have to do is you have to come over here to the right side and go to columns. And this works for any of these columns that you want to see or want to hide. If you click the drop down here, go to columns and turn on, page number is already off. So turn on page number. That column now appears on the run sheet. Perhaps we don't want to see notes or we don't want to see page views. You can turn these columns on or off to customize the run sheet. Now on this run sheet, as well as all of the run sheets here in the report suite, what you have to do is come into Options at the bottom and Save Column Setup in order to make sure that the next time you run the run sheet, you see the same columns. And just as an FYI for folks, for those of you who are publishing your digital editions through Magazine Manager, and you've got page views and stuff, this information being pulled over through Google Analytics. These page views are actual real page views that people who have been looking at your digital edition are looking at, and it's going to be tallied up on your run sheet, so the sales reps can come in here and get all of this analytical data anytime they want. Take a look. So that's the sales run sheet. And again, the sales run sheet is incorporating more from Digital Studio through the flat planing of the date and the page views coming from your digital editions. These thumbnails of these pages here are actually placed pages, uploaded and placed pages on the digital edition in Digital Studio, and are available here so that production doesn't have to stop what they're doing and go look up and see, well, who all showed up on what page next to my ad. Sales reps can actually answer these questions for themselves. Okay, so that's a little bit of that. Let's go and take a look at a couple of other really high-level things. Now, if you're entering your goals, we've got some booking goals and booking widgets and things here that are available for you. Managers, again, this call is for you. So what I'm going to have you do, and this is again targeted specifically for the sales directors and sales managers, come over here to the right-hand area here and come over to the site setup, come down to add widgets, go to the, it's going to say Dashboard 1, Dashboard 2, Dashboard 3. I've actually come in here and chosen this little drop down, and I've renamed Dashboard 2 to Management. So I've got this Management Dashboard, and what I want to see on here are the, let's see, bookings here, Goal Summary. Okay, it's going to be nice. This Goal Summary is going to be really nice because once you enter all your goals, this Goal Summary widget is going to give you kind of a throttle here. Let's take a look at what kind of goal are we looking at. We're looking at issue sales goals or meeting goals or call goals. You can set goals at any of these levels for your sales reps. If you want them to place 100 calls a week, put in a call goal. When the sales rep enters a callback or enters a call into Magazine Manager, it will track that call against the goals. If they have to have 25 face-to-face meetings, put in 25 in their goals to set those goals. And this goal comparison will actually show and roll everything up. So for total contract sales, we have monthly goals. And let's look at maybe July of 2013. I'm not sure. Yeah, we're 150 over goal. My total goals for the contract monthly sales for July 2013, the total goals were 140,000. Our actual sales were at 215, so we're 153 over goal, or 153 over, right, over goal. Let me just give you a quick rundown. Where do I go set up my goals, Mark? Well, you go into Management, Employees, Employee Editor, and in the Employee Editor, let's just go take a look. I'll pick on myself. We'll go Edit here, and we'll go to Set, View, and Edit Sales Goals. That goal that we just looked at here on Management, this contract monthly sales goals, this number is rolled up and derived from each of the sales reps 2013 January sales goals. Okay, here's the actual, here's the goal. My goal, Hetty's goals, Jacob's goals, Mike's goals, Karen's goals. All these sales goals for 2013 January are all added up, and they comprise this 140,500. All the actuals that each of the sales reps ran are all added up and rolled up to this actual number. So you can look at this by month. You can look at it weekly if that's how it's stored. For July, you can look at it for August, view the chart. Well, we're only 8% to goal in August and so forth. So you can see how this is really, really helpful for sales reps and managers. Again, let me go back. How did we get here? How do we set this up? We log in, go over to the right-hand menu, come down to Site Setup, come into Add Widget. When you do this, you're going to see Dashboard 1, Dashboard 2, Dashboard 3, and Customer Search. Take any one of these dashboards, and we clicked and we dragged over the, and I'll get rid of them here. I'll just, okay, they're all over here. I moved over my Goal Summary widget. I'm moving over my widget, Bookings widget, and my Contract Sales Comparison widget, And perhaps I'm a production manager and I want to see my ad material statuses widget. Month-to-date, year-to-date sale contract information, and maybe month-to-date, year-to-date issue sales. How about year-to-date activity by rep? Then we'll have a revenue comparison. All right, so with this one view, this one little page we're going to run, we've got all this data available to us as a manager, high level, 30,000 feet, cruising level altitude kind of information that you can really look and see if there are any outliers and see, you know, possibly where we've got some problems or we have some successes that we need to follow up on, okay? Revenue comparison, 2013 compared to 2014. So far we're on par. We've got some sales to do later in the year this year because we've got to catch up with what we did last year. You can compare 2012 to 2013, and we'll update this widget, and here's how we did. 13 overshadowed 12. You see 12 in the background back here. We did much better in 13. These are some really nice analytical reports you guys will be able to take a look at. All right, looking at some more management high-level reporting. We've looked at we've got a production run sheet just for our production managers on board here. Organic Delights 2012, December. All right, show all on one page. Search. All right. So for my production, I don't have sales information here in the production run sheets. I have a lot of the production information. So what all columns are available? Well, as a production person, I probably want to see my ad size. I want to see a position, a special section, maybe a page number as it appears, and once they start getting set up here in Digital Studio. Start date, end date, CPM and quantity, page views. These are all with the digital edition and digital ads. Pick up from, if we have some pick up from information, again, hide or show any of this information for you. This customization, again, is based on the user login, so each person can customize their own report to show them exactly what they need. Now, notice over here to the right, it's like, oh, I've got some more data. I've got to keep scrolling out this way. Well, what you can do is give yourself a little more room by collapsing that left-hand column here, and now we've got a little bit more room to have to not scroll quite as much, but still scrolling a little bit, okay? Let's come back here and take a look here. Let's see. All right, so accounts receivable, what kind of reporting for all of our accountants online, accounts receivable. And honestly, most sites by default are set up where anyone can see these reports. And a really good report for sales and also account managers is your aging summary report. All products, all reps as of today's date. I want to display all my open invoices, all my just open cash or just open barter. I look at my receivables or receivables with overpayments. I want to include overpayments. All right, so I view, and here's the current status. Here's my high-level detail of my clients. I see people that are greater than 120 days old, 60 to 90. I have these clients who have a prepayment on their account. Kind of a very good high-level AR aging summary view. If you need to use, you want to look at more of a detail, AR aging detail, this is going to break down by buckets and give you the invoices per client. I mean, it's going to give not just the total they owe, but here are all the different invoices they owe. This is the details of the summary of the aging summary, right? Over 120, 91 to 120, 60 to 90, and so forth, okay? So it not only gives the customer, but it also gives the exact details of the invoices that are there, okay? All right, let's take a look. So now under reports, accounts receivable. For your accountants, not sure if you know about the GL summary report. This is a really good report. GL summaries are all done. The general ledger is entered by product, so we can search for all years. And here are all of your different GL codes. A lot of our folks will take, a lot of our clients will actually use Magazine Manager's accounts receivable portion to manage all of the invoices and all of the payments. but then they need to make a high-level posting into their journal, as a journal entry. And so what they'll do by product is they'll assign an account, a cash code, or they'll assign an income code that they can just put this one item in for cash in the accounts receivable for Organic Delights. And again, rely on Magazine Manager for all of the accounting detail. All of this level of detail we have in here. They post all of this information, all this detail in their accounting books, in the books there. So pipeline forecasting. This is a fantastic report. Under reports, under sales, pipeline forecasting. This is the report that publishers and sales directors can take a look at to forecast what revenue is going to be coming in for a particular issue. So we'll take a look, and I keep falling back on 2012 December just because we've got a lot of data there. But for this issue, let's say this is an upcoming issue, and we search this. Our forecasting report tells us that everything here at 100%, these are converted proposals into contracts. What we see at 90%, these are proposals still out on the street that have yet to be converted to a contract. Since most have already been converted, and since this issue is already run, basically, if everything is to be converted, we should be making $141,620 on this issue. But because of what's yet to be converted and the likelihood that it's going to be converted, we can more realistically plan on $136,000. Let me run a more current issue and just see what we might have here for this. See for our February issue, do we have any proposals entered? Oh, everything's already been converted. March, everything's been converted. Okay. But anyway, again, the concept is really the same. That percentage helps to create a forecasted number of how likely that contract is to be converted. All right, and so if everything was to convert, this is your revenue right now. Likelihood of things converting, this is what you can plan on more realistically. So this is pretty good to have forecasting report. Let's go under sales, contract expirations. We can say basically for all, let's say I'm working on my Organic Delights, and so by my 2000 April issue, who all do I have expiring as of April? Nobody. Let's see, March. So as of my March issue of Organic Delights, I have these customers that will be expiring as of after this issue. This is their last issue they run in. So as a sales rep, I'm going to want, or as a manager, I'm going to look for all reps and say, hey, listen, we got to figure out who's expiring and let's get after them. So you'll select your product. Let's select all products, all reps, and then we can look at by month. So as of February of this year, for all products, sales team, this is who we have coming up that's expiring in February. These are the products, okay? These are the companies. These are the sales reps. Let's get these renewals in-house, okay? Same thing here. So this contract expirations report, really good report for our managers. Okay, if you want to take a look at your sales team to see who all has outstanding proposals yet to be converted to a contract, we're going to run the proposal search report for blank sales rep. That means all sales reps, all products. I'm going to show everything that has not been converted yet to a contract, and let's just show me everything that's not been converted. So here's everything in the system, all the companies, all the products, the reps that they created. All right, here's everything that's still outstanding to be converted. It may be more useful for you to see this by product. So let's look at I'm the Organic Delights. You know, this is my brand. These are the people that I look at. Here are all of my proposals that have some Organic Delights insertion order on that proposal. I see the companies they're for. I see my reps, my sales reps. And so this is kind of a to-do list or a follow-up list my team, and this is, I can go and address each one individually or as a group, give them this list as a group, okay? So that's the proposals report. Special positions availability. So for all zones, let's take a look, see. Positions not sold in this issue. This is a really good report for you to look at for, you know, if you want to see, get your sales team on these special positions, these premium positions that are going to result in higher revenue. I'm looking for, there we go, Organic Delights for my March issue. We're really focusing on that for our sales blitz right now. So we'll look for all reps. Let's take a view here and see the inside back cover, inside front cover are still available and already sold in this issue. Congratulations, Jacob, you sold the front cover. This is still what's available. This is a good report to take into a sales meeting and see all zones for the March issues, you know, what all still outstanding here for us. Let's choose, okay, well, if we do all zones and use the year here, it's going to list all the issues for all the zones. This is best to run simply by a product, by a particular product and upcoming issue. Okay. All right, let's take a look at some other reporting. Here's an inactivity report. This is good as a sales director to go, let me see for, let's take a look and see for some of Jacob's people. I would just want to look at the primary contacts. Show me everyone who's been inactive, and let's exclude ad agencies. Let's show me everybody who has inactivity of greater than 3 months, 180 days. So it looks like there are 5 accounts that are near the expiration of inactivity. Let's get up and get these people on the phone because it's been a while since they've had contact. So this inactivity report is going to be really good. This goals report is simply a different reporting mechanism to be able to view the goals based on what you entered. So you have sales goals for January. Here are the actuals based on the goals. I don't think we actually entered any goals for 14 yet, so let's look at 2013. And here are my sales reps. This is a monthly contract sales goal. Here's how they fall out. Here are my call goals. We've had 1 actual against 30 calls at 3%. Meeting goals. All right, we have no goal, but here's some meetings, so there's no percent to goal here. And then, again, contract sales goals for January, February, and so forth. Okay? So this goals report is just another way to report against the goals that you have put in for your sales team. Some of these other reports are actually these are actually some custom reports. This new report, inventory report, we rewrote the inventory module a couple of versions ago, about 6 months ago, and we've added this inventory report. If some of you haven't seen this, this is really awesome. The inventory report, once the inventory is set up for your products, you can look at by product 2014 for our March issue, and let's take a look and see the inventory, what's available, okay? So the inventory has been set up for Organic Delights, and what are we looking at here? What do we have here? Well, basically, we have, for the March issue, we have the front cover, 1 of 1 pages sold, 0 available. Well, who brought the front cover? I don't know. Oh, yeah, Côte d'Azur, they bought it. They bought the front cover for the March 14th issue, and Mark sold it for $15,000. Gosh, okay, well, that's not available. My positions that are still available are green and green, 1 available of the inside back cover and inside front cover. If your administrators are not implementing the inventory yet, have them reach out to the sales to your software consultants. We'll walk you through. It's a very easy, very quick setup for the inventory, and then we can choose, just to let you know, you'll have 2 choices with the inventory control. If this issue or if this size or position has already been sold, then you can either choose to warn or block new proposals being added, or you can warn the rep or block the rep from adding new contracts. So it's a first come, first serve basis. It will not count against the inventory, just to let you know. It will not count against the inventory if it's just a proposal. So if you have 6 proposals out for this inside back cover, the first person that converts that proposal to a contract gets it, okay? The other 5, when they go in to attempt to convert, they will not be able to because it's no longer available once they're ready to convert it. So just to let you know that that is available for the inventory. All right, special position availability we looked at. Let's take a look. Okay, callbacks reports. This is a report that you can run just to see who all's got what callbacks assigned. So let's see how many callback Karen had in the last 3 years. I just want to open up the date range so that we can get some results. You would generally have these callbacks for the month. Who's got callbacks from 1/1 to 1/23 or for January for the month? How many callbacks? And these are the 6 callbacks. Let's say our date range is a lot smaller than what it is. But here are the callbacks. You can see the notes here. And on your callbacks report, if you're a sales rep, you can actually come in here and go, you know what, 7th wave, I did do this callback, so I'm going to mark this one complete. And I did this callback just last Wednesday, so I'll mark this one complete. We can see the notes that correspond to the callbacks if you want to, or all the notes actually for this client. We can go view the notes here. So this callback report is pretty good. Some of you may not have seen or have worked with the My Lists yet. Let me take a brief moment here just to talk about My Lists. My Lists is a significant tool for both your accounting department as collections agents as well as your sales department. So as a sales rep comes in here to, yeah, there we go. As a sales rep comes in here to the client record and says, you know what, I want to schedule a callback, and my callback is going to be for a contract signature meeting later this afternoon at 5 p.m. I want to call back and get the deal signed, okay? We're going to create that callback. As the sales rep, in my list, I want to go and look at all my callbacks for today. So all my scheduled callbacks are here, and here's that scheduled callback that I just made. But I have some other callbacks that are supposed to happen today. So what My List is supposed to do, and what it does very well, is it offers you a very quick interface to efficiently work down your callback list and make notes or schedule meetings or do other activity as a result of the callback. So here's my callback. I click the plus sign, up, get the seal done, the sign, deal signed. Okay, so I'm going to click on this line here, and I've just opened up my client's information over here. I'm the sales rep is him. Here's the information. I'm placing the callback. We talked about great deals, and we'll meet next week. Okay, well, that's a note about the callback, but we also said we're going to meet next week. So right from here, I'm going to schedule a meeting for next week, and we're going to do it next Thursday, and we're going to have this meeting at, let's say, 3:30 p.m. All right, there we go. Sign another deal. All right, so we're going to add this meeting. So I've now added the meeting to my calendar, all right, and then I've also placed it here. So the meeting, as I'm doing these things, I'm noting the client record. Well, I've completed this callback. I've done everything I need to do for this callback. So I'm going to mark the callback done. And then I'll keep working my way down the list. And if those of you who've been doing your callbacks or using the system other ways, this certainly beats searching for a Mother's Touch, searching for SL Power, searching for DAX Enterprises, going to the client record, clicking of the subcontact, entering the notes, pressing save, doing all this. This has taken that burden of really jumping all around the system, and you're just walking right down a list, looking at notes, looking at activities, expanding out notes, looking at more things that we need to see. A letter was sent, everything. Let's say we've got a Mother's Touch, and we call John Doe Billing. All right, Mr. Billings is a really nice guy. He's like, guys, you always call me at my phone number here at the desk. It's really easy if you'll call me on my cell. Please enter my cell number. Okay. Well, instead of having to jump to the client record, go to John Doe, edit his record, come in here, type in his phone number, blah, 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 just come over here and click in the mobile phone number field. All right? And we're going to enter that mobile phone number. And as soon as we tab out, that number has been saved. Do I have enough characters? 954, 555. 1, 2, whatever, here we go. So that number is saved. So now when I go back over to John's record and I look at that mobile number, I just entered that in the MyList interface without having to come to the client record, and it's updated and added a cell number for the client record. How cool is that? I've made the call, I mark it done, here we go. Take a look at my activity report. I've created some meetings, created some callbacks. Let's go back to my activity report and see how my activity report's been updated and reflected. I want to take a look and see what's going on today. View, and here are some activities and callbacks and notes and meetings just placed today. Here's that number 1 Cote du jour meeting later this afternoon. Got that. Here are the 2 callbacks and notes we placed here. Get the deal signed. This is all the information that I just put in is now immediately available on the activity detail report. So again, I'm kind of just flying through, highlighting some really good high-level stuff. I will refer you again to help, not to the videos this time, but to the Magazine Manager Reports section under Management Report Suite. This is going to cover in detail with screenshots and explanation those reports that I ran, compare, do not compare, all this stuff. Is some really nice documentation for this. And the sales, all these different sales reports we hopped through and took a look at. Sales activity, callback report, all these different reports, proposal reports, screenshots, explanations, all kinds of good documentation. Take time, now that you've hopefully gotten a little excited, a little pumped up about these reports that you didn't just realize are there, just realize all the things I haven't had a chance to cover today. And come in here to help and go again into the Magazine Manager, Reports, Sales, and just go down each one of these reports and take a look at what's here. You'll be pleasantly surprised to see all the kinds of information available. We also have the accounts receivable reports documented, distribution reports, production reports, contact reports, circulation reports. We have a very, very, very extensive library documenting our system for you that you can get help whenever you need it. Okay? One final view here. I'm going to put you guys on hold just for a second and take a look and see if there are some questions and answers that were asked during the call that perhaps I didn't cover something. We have a couple of minutes. I might be able to address 1 or 2 things. Just a moment. All right, little discussion I had here on the side with my moderators. There's a pretty good report that the accounting, we did go over some accounting reports earlier in the call. If you did join late, I'll invite you to review this webinar once we have it posted in Help later this week or early next week, and it will give you some, it'll let you see what I've already covered with those accounting reports. But there's going to also be another good report in the accounts receivable. It's an unbilled charges report. So once you've closed the issue, you feel like you've billed everything, but you want to make sure you didn't miss anything, you can actually run this unbilled charges report for the issue. Again, sticking with 2012 December, and take a look and see, are there any contracts I haven't billed? Oh, goodness, look at this. I have one contract right here that I haven't billed yet, because it doesn't have an invoice number. All these others have invoice numbers. So this is the one that I haven't billed yet. So I need to go back to NEIRV and create an invoice. Go to Customers, Accounts Receivable, New Invoice. Choose my default invoice template is fine. I'm going to invoice by customer details in EIRB. And I want to look at all of their unbilled charges. Press Search. And here's that Organic Delights 2012. Gosh, look at that. I haven't invoiced that yet. Well, let me just go through real quick here and invoice selected items. I've just created the invoice for my client. I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to preview it, take a look and see. Looks pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to send that out to my client. With it checked here, press the email button, and I put from me December 2012 invoice, and there you go. Just as quickly as we ran the report, as I looked and I discovered there's an invoice I did not send out, I needed to send out, I've generated it, sent it, and we're good to go. So now when I run this uninvoiced report again, there we go. Now they have their invoice, and it's good to go, and we've invoiced everything in this issue. So that's another accounting report necessarily it didn't cover earlier. Transactions reports. I will just talk to all my accountants on the line today. This is, if you've not discovered, I'm sure you have. You guys are a sharp group for sure. This transactions report is your bread and butter. This is your go-to report. Transaction summary. How many have been invoiced? Based on this date range we have entered above for this month so far, how much have I invoiced? How many payments have I received? From my invoice payments, how much came through in checks, visas, or from the customer account? For my payments to my customer accounts, prepayments, how much came through in checks, credit memos, visas, from the customer account, how much came back up here into payments? Now, if you want to see all the checks that came into the customer account, so here's my payments to my customer account. The check's $37,000. Well, gosh, what are they? Well, I'm going to click on this number. Remember, hyperlink means it's a drill-through report. We're going to drill down in, and here are the details that comprise that $37,000. 3 different checks. 1, 2, 3 for $33,500. Look at that payment record. Click on the payment detail here. Here's the payment record for these payments to the customer account. You can see that here. All right, for the client. All right, so there's a transactions report. It's really good. If you want to look at all the transactions that have happened for the last year for BMW, let's do this. Let's choose 1/1/2013, and I want to display for BMW. I'm going to look at 1 year's worth of transactions for my one client. Let's search here. Display everything for this and search. And here are here we go, I'm sorry, display. Here are all my transactions for 1 year from 1/1/2013 to date, all the transactions that have occurred for this client. We invoiced them in June, July, August. This is not realistic because this is a test site, so we just created a bunch of test data, but this could be January, February, March, April, May invoices. Here are all these other invoices. There were payments against these invoices. All right, so here's all of my information. Here's all my summary information. From January 1st, 2013 to date, year to date for BMW, we've invoiced them a total of $26,000. They've paid us a total of almost everything. They still owe us $199. All right, so we've got a lot of really good high-level information. They've paid us mostly in checks directly to the invoices. Second, they paid us from Visas and American Expresses. These $3,700 came from the client account down here, which all came in the form of a check. So there's a lot of good analysis that can happen here at the accounting level for the client. Date range, enter company name, search it, display it. There you go. All right, we are coming up on our hour. I do want to thank everyone for attending today's webinar. I hope I got you guys excited about a lot of information. I threw a lot of stuff your way today. I do apologize about the late start. You know, as speaking on behalf of the consultants here on the call today, I want to thank every one of you for allowing us to serve you and help you. Please reach out to us. Can we go into further detail and help you more with some of your reporting needs or any other needs that you have here in the Magazine Manager? I thank you very much and have a great day. Bye-bye.